In this unit, we will learn how to create symbols. Symbols are kind of stamps that you clone around your artwork so you can use the same graphic multiple times. Let me show you. As an example, I created this illustration of an eye in order to clone it around and create a composition with eyes looking in different directions. Firstly, we're going to need to access the Symbols panel, which is under the Window menu. Or you can also access it straight from the right hand side if it's already part of your workspace. In order to create a new symbol, you either select your object, click on the three lines and select New Symbol, or you can simply drag and drop it on the Symbols panel. I'm gonna name it Eye, and then don't worry too much about the rest. They are actually for more advanced situations. They have to do with if you want to animate it later on different softwares and if they're gonna be linked to the master symbol or not. I would suggest leave them as they are, press OK. You see now that my illustration has turned to a symbol since it has a little cross in the middle. The way it works is you can just drag and drop the symbols on your canvas and create a composition with eyes. And of course you can amend them by turning them around so they look in different directions, or like scale them up and down to make a more interesting approach. Another thing that you can do is change some of them slightly. In order to do so, you have to firstly unlink them from the main symbol, since all of them now they are just identical clones of the original one. I can go ahead and unlink them by breaking the link to symbol with this button here, and now you see that it's not a symbol anymore, but it's just an illustration. And I can go ahead, for example, select the eye and change the color perhaps into something a bit more green or any other color that I would like to. If you want to change all of the eyes, instead of having to select each one of them individually, you can actually double click on the symbol and change just the symbol, and everything else is going to automatically be updated. We could add an extra shape and make it feel a bit even more glossy as it was before. Double click outside and you see that the transformation has been applied to all of the eyes on my canvas. So the symbols are allowing you to quickly clone shapes, but also later on, if you feel like, you can amend the main symbol and all of the clones will automatically be updated. Another thing that you can do with symbols is to spray them. Using the spray tool here, you can just use it as a little brush and draw around, and you see that it's gonna fill it up with your symbol. If you double click on your spray, you can also adjust the diameter, the intensity, the density, and so on. There are more tools underneath the spray tool. Some of it that I use sometimes is the shifter tool, which allows you to now grab your symbols and just change slightly their position. Or you can use the next tool, which allows you to bring them a bit closer together. You have a few tools that they allow you to play around. Another is the sizing tool. It allows you to make some of them slightly bigger. Underneath the spinner, so as you can imagine, it turns them in different directions. All of those tools, if you double click on them, you can change their parameters, so all their options about the different features. You can also quickly navigate through those tools from here, just underneath. Switch also the different parameters in terms of color. To be honest, these are not really the ones that I usually use. if I try to select the eyes, they are still one object because we use the spray tool. If I want to access now each of them individually, what I need to do is expand my composition. In order to do that, you just go to Object and then click Expand, press OK, and you see how now each of them has a little cross, so each of them is a symbol by itself. And if we ungroup them, right click Ungroup, I can also select each one of them individually, move them around or scale them and further edit them, having perfect control again of my shapes. If I want to change their color, I can just access the symbol panel, double click on the symbol, select my color and switch it. Double click or click on the little arrow here to get out of the editing mode. And here we go, all the eyes are updated. You can further edit just by selecting few of them and unlink them from the main symbol in order to change their color and so on. There are also symbols that you can find on the symbols library. On the three little books here on the bottom left corner, you can click to access further symbols such as nature. And you have few different symbols that you can use just by clicking and dragging them on your canvas. Clone them or with the Alt key duplicate them around to finalize your composition. And still, even if you didn't create a symbol, you can double click on it in order to amend it and select, for example, with my magic tool, all those blue elements. I need to add a bit of extra tolerance. And let's see the updated illustration. So here we go. They have this lovely blue shapes on top of them.
As you see, working this way allows you to save time and create very interesting illustrations. But let's move forward and learn how to create patterns in our next unit.